Allow me to share with you the thing called the Doctrine of the Lesser Magistrates. That it talks about how when a higher authority makes unjust laws, policy, or court opinion, it's the duty of the lower authority, the lower civil magistrate, to defy that. And that's what we have here in America with Planned Parenthood and abortion itself. Is the Supreme Court has said it's legal or okay to murder children, and what people know as Roe v. Wade. And the magistrates, police officers, the lower ranking civil authorities have a duty to ignore Roe v. Wade, to ignore anything that the Supreme Court or any court says is law, policy, or that is legal. And the police and the vast majority of people in office aren't doing that. They're just going along with, well, it's legal, it's the law of the land. That's not true. Because the Supreme Court, most people in the culture, they think that once the Supreme Court issues a ruling, it's the law of the land. But no, the Supreme Court doesn't get to make law. They're the judicial branch. They don't get to make law. They don't get to write law.
Sure.
And so the Roe v. Wade, it's an opinion. It's not the law of the land.
Okay.
And this is murder. And so I just want to encourage you to appeal to the governor. I know you have a Democrat governor now, but appeal to the governor and appeal to your fellow police officers and to take action to shut this place down and to protect these children, because they need interposition. And it's called the Doctrine of the Lesser Magistrates. I know that you're probably not familiar with it because most people aren't.
Sure.
But it's a historical and biblical doctrine that's been around for a long, long time. And it's been practiced throughout history. And basically it's a way to rein in tyranny without blood being shed.
Okay.
And it's just like, so far, like in 46 years, we haven't had a single governor, a single mayor, a single legislature interpose on behalf of these children. They haven't done it. And right here in Wisconsin, you know what happened back in the 1850s in Wisconsin? You had a runaway slave, Joshua Glover, I believe was his name. He was captured. He was running away from his owner, from the guy who owned him. And he was captured. He was thrown into the Milwaukee County Jail. And a group of about 5,000 people broke him out. And the U.S. Supreme Court wanted to try him. What was the man's name? I forget. Sherman Booth. They wanted to try him for violating the Federal Fugitive Slave Act, because they were violating it. But the Wisconsin Supreme Court, the legislature, they defied the U.S. Supreme Court, the federal government, and they protected Sherman Booth from being prosecuted. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we need to do today in Wisconsin on behalf of the preborn who are being murdered here, and also down the road at affiliated abortion mill, and the police officers are just going with the flow. So I encourage you to think about that and your duty before God. I don't know if either of you claim to be a Christian, but think about your duty before God regarding this abortion holocaust, because you'll be held accountable, we all will, before God for what you did or did not do. And I know a lot of people say, well, once I put on that badge, I got to be a police officer. Well, it doesn't mean that this is okay to do to children, or when people are being murdered, you just have to look the other way. Just because in Nazi Germany, it was legal to murder people. Adolf Hitler and the Nazis, they changed the laws. Doesn't mean it was right. Mm-hmm. And there were a few people who stood up. That's what police and that's what those in civil authority in office, they need to take action. They need to say, no, this is evil, this is wrong, this contradicts God's law, and we're going to interpose. Okay. And I mean, what did Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. do? He interposed. He practiced civil disobedience, and we herald him today for that, right? Sure. We herald him today for civil disobedience, but today it's like once it happens in our own time. I mean, we herald those in the past who did courageous things like that, but in our own time, we're like, we don't want to do it ourselves, but we need that because thousands of children are being murdered, and we're just looking the other way, and history is going to judge us for our action or our inaction. So you can check that out at defytyrants.com. Okay. Doctrine of the Lesser Magistrate. You can just Google it. Okay. We need magistrates to stand up and say no. Abortion is murder, and we're going to act like it. And Wisconsin could be the first state to end abortion. You could be the first state. And I encourage you to appeal to the police department, your fellow officers, to think about this and because this place shouldn't be open.
Sure.
They shouldn't be able to murder children here in Milwaukee.
Well, like I said, not to cut you off and taking more of your time, like I said as well, as long as you guys are out here doing your thing, practicing your legal right well within the ordinance of the city of Milwaukee, more power to you, okay, man? So as long as if you have any questions regarding the ordinance, like I said, you can bring it up. It sounds like we're all on the pretty same page and understanding, and now we talked about it a little bit.
Yes, sir.
So like I said, as long as we're all within the ordinance, you guys are practicing your right, okay?
Well,
so we'll go from there.
Okay.
Okay. So like I said, just because the police come out in the future doesn't mean you guys are doing anything wrong.
Oh no,
Simply if somebody places to call the police department, it'd be us not doing.
I talk to police officers all the time, so I'm used to it.
Okay.
And I do thank you for your service.
Sure.
And I just thinking about that, I was sharing with them the doctrine of the lesser magistrates, defytyrants.com, and that applies to police officers and anyone in civil authority. So check that out, doctrine of the lesser magistrates, and
what is it again?
It's doctrine of the lesser magistrates.
Okay, I got you.
You don't have any literature on you regarding that, do you?
So here's one thing though I do have to add to you.
Yes, sir.
Being out here, like my partner always explained to you, you have your legal rights to do that.
Yes,
but
sir.
going inside of the clinic, that's a whole other thing. And so when you step inside of the clinic and they don't want you guys on the inside, so do everything you do, you just stay on the outside. Because if you go on the inside and they don't want you there, they won't come back in, it'll be a whole nother level. That could be trespassing, anything like that, okay?
Yes, sir.
So don't change your clothes and then go in, then come back out, change clothes again, because cameras don't lie. So you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
Right.
I changed my clothes because it's cold out here.
Yeah.
Sure.
So,
And I didn't trespass.
either way, just don't go inside the building.
Following this incident where you went in there, you had a conversation with the gentleman.
Tried to anyway.
And he asked you to step out, and you did, which was,
Yeah, I did.
perfect. That was very effective. That was exactly what you should have done. That was perfect. However, moving forward, you're not welcome inside the building.
I'm more.
So in the future, it would be trespassing.
Yes,
so
sir.
Continue doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
In the way that you're doing it. Just don't go inside, because that's going to give them ammunition to have you removed, and that's what'll happen.
Yes, sir.
We won't come and discuss it with you. You'll be removed from here and cited.
Yes, sir.
Which, that doesn't effectively help your cause. It just costs you money, and that's,
Yes.
And you don't want to do that. You have freedom of
it don't
speech.
work. in
And it's
your
not just
favor.
this location, any other locations.
I understand
You
that.
know. Okay?
Cool.
All right, guys.
Cool.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
you guys, man.
You guys,
Thank
any
you for your
questions for any of
service.
us before we leave?
Just think about you're serving and protecting born people, but you also need to serve and protect preborn people, and the police aren't doing that.
Okay.
They think
It's way. The conversation that you're having, irregardless of how any of us believe, is way, way, way above our pay grade and what we're here for today.
not necessarily.
Well-
Check out the testimony of Chet Gallagher. He was a police officer in Las Vegas who actually he's during the rescue movement when they were blocking the doors of abortion mills. He actually stood up for those children. He stood with the rescuers. He lost his job over it, but he did the right thing as a police officer.
Right.
And police.
When we come to work, sir, we don't bring our beliefs with us one way or the other.
Well, you should. If I don't know if any of you are Christians, but this
sir,
does affect you.
What I'm trying to tell you is, continue to do what you're doing. Do it in the correct manner.
Yes, sir.
When we come here, we look at things blank gray. We're not on one side or the other. We're here to do a job as provided by what we work under right now, provided by state and local ordinances. That's all we're doing. Okay. So we don't bring our beliefs with us when we come. And that is the way it has to be. Works sometimes in your favor, sometimes not, but that's the way it is right now. Like for instance, if one of these officers comes here and they absolutely don't want to hear anything you have to say, and they don't like you, and they drag you out of here, how does that help you? I guarantee a creative enough officer could probably figure out a reason to cite you and then take you out of here.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But how does that help? And at the same
it
time,
makes them a tyrant.
They can't stay here while they're being paid to work for the city of Milwaukee. They can't stay here and try to help your cause at the same time. You get what I'm saying?
It's not about cause. It's about right now. And we all know.
Milwaukee, whoa. In larger generalities, I'm just saying, continue doing what you're doing, and then doing the man you're doing. It sounds like you're pretty proficient and you understand pretty well the guidelines, and you'll be fine. All right, sir. You guys have a good day.
All right, stay warm, guys.
You
Take
guys have
care.
a good day.